Badger fans, what's up? We continue going through this 24 class with player capsules on everybody to kind of wrap it up. We're going with Colin Cubberly on this one of the five offensive linemen coming into Madison, 6'6", 305, consensus 3-star across the industry. And as always, we talk about the three things with every one prospect we bring in. We talk about what are the three things we really like about this prospect, in this case, Colin Cubberly. We'll do that as we put film up, as always, so people can kind of watch along as we discuss Colin Cubberly. The first thing I really like here is just I think there's positional versatility. So Cubberly, when you hear people talk about this class and you hear people talk about that offensive line class, you talk about, well, and Mandel and Corey, those are the guards, right? Yeah, for sure. Then you have Jensen and Haywood, right tackle, left tackle, perfect. Cubberly, I feel like, could play a little bit of everywhere, which I think that gives him a little bit of a unique edge here. I think he could be. I don't think he's a left tackle. I don't think he has the feet of Haywood, but I think he could be a right tackle. I think he could play inside. He's kind of got boxy strength. Like, again, I don't think he's the greatest athlete in this group, but he's not. You don't have to project what he's going to look like at 305 either, right? He's carrying 305, 310 pounds. He does it pretty well. I like the second thing we're going to get to that I like he's able to redirect, right? A lot of offensive linemen have a hard time, blocking, disengaging, finding another target. He does that on several occasions on film. You can see him move from a defensive lineman to a linebacker, wall him off. Again, not as fluidly as maybe a Corey who's really good with his feet, or a Haywood, but he can really do that nicely, and that allows him to help open up some seams on that second level of the defense. So I like that a lot. And then the third thing again is this is just a position of need. Like they desperately needed offensive linemen. They went out and found five of them. That's going to be really one of the three things for all of these guys. So I really like the kind of ready-made size. I like the versatility. I like his ability in space to find another target. I also like that you have clips here. A lot of offensive linemen there's clips of them being dominant in one aspect of the game, one phase of the game. His high school threw the ball quite a bit, ran on the ball quite a bit. So there's real clips of him setting up in space, walling off a defender, mirroring a defender, getting his hands engaged, locked off, pushing him past the pocket. You can see him pass protect. Whereas a guy like Emerson Mandel, not his fault, just doesn't have that on his film. Right? They just didn't do it much. So it's nice to see Cubberly can do both of those. Here he is pulling from the backside, kind of burying somebody. Again, there's clips of Kevin Haywood doing that. He's not quite as fluid there, but he does it. And that's still a pretty impressive trait as a 6'6", 305 high school player to be able to pull as a backside tackle and get to that edge and seal it off. There's a nastiness to his game. I talk about that I think that's across the board with our offensive line recruits in this class. All of them will take a guy and put him in the dirt. They'll take a guy and they will finish. They will take the life, Mortal Kombat, finish him. They will do that. And Cubberly's one of those guys too. He will play right to the whistle and maybe a half second be past it, which you like that ability. He does a good job on running plays to his side of really turning, walling off the defender. There's a lot there. I think there's a lot here to like with Cubberly. It is a player who good offer list. This is probably the least heralded of the offensive line recruits, if we're being honest, but you still have offers from Syracuse. Texas was in on him. Boston College, West Virginia, Cincinnati, NC State, Duke. Again, I talk about this with some of our prospects. Look at the caliber of some of the verbal or some of the offers coming in. If you get Dukes, if you get Northwesterns, if you get Vanderbilts, right, that speaks to kind of the character of the player at times. So Duke offers nice. Again, Texas was offering him at one point. This is a solid recruit who I think offers versatility and size. And again, it's nice that you don't have to project. You don't have to think, oh, what's he going to look? He's 6'7", 260 now. What's he going to look like if we put 50 pounds on him? You don't got to worry about that with Cubberly. And that's a nice bonus. All right, we're going to kick it over to Brian Smith to talk more about Colin Cubberly.
Brian, let's round up this recent run of Badgers commits. Colin Cubberly is the third offensive lineman in this group that recently committed, 6'6", 290-ish. What did you think of Colin Cubberly when you saw him on film?
The only question I have is how good is he going to be in pass pro? I don't think he's the same level athlete as Haywood, but he's a really tall guy. He's got power. I just don't think he has the same kind of bend and same kind of lower body athleticism. He's a traditional Big Ten power guy. Wisconsin, you would have saw in 1995. Mm-hmm. That is fine. My same measurement is Ohio State, though. How's he going to do against those kind of edge guys? It gives me nerves. He might end up as a offensive guard, but he's got all the power you could want. You kind of figure it out, and you can work on his flexibility. You can't teach size. You can't teach speed. Those things are God-given. He has that. So it's going to be interesting, but I just think it's going to take a little bit longer for him to develop because I don't think he's the same level of athlete as some of the other kids.
Right. And, the offer list and the ranking probably bear that out, right? We've talked so much about how hard it is to rank these guys, but sometimes the ranking kind of backs up what you're seeing on the film, right? He doesn't have the quick feed of Haywood necessarily. And he feels like a guy who could potentially be a guard or right tackle, give the line some versatility, maybe just get a guy like that and you just let him develop and he just adds to the depth of the position.
Yeah, fifth year senior, I could see him starting, but like Haywood, I could see being a redshirt freshman and competing for the right tackle spot. Like, I think he is a dude. So there are only so many guys like Kevin, but not everybody's going to be that kind of athlete. You need different types of bodies, you need different types of roles. Maybe Cubberly finds that in another spot.